How's it going, everyone? My name is True Wonder Dog, and today is a very sad day indeed because it looks like Raiden might actually have the worst variation in the entire game. A lot of us did think it might be Cassie Cage instead, but nope, this variation has a lot less going for it than that one. We really do have to consult the Elder Gods about this one, because these poor Raiden players just can't catch a break. So without any further ado, let's have a look at this new variation and see why it's considered so awful. So first up we have Joe Push. This move does replace Electric Fly, which is kind of a sin onto itself. That move is godlike and should never go away. Very similar to Raiden's teleport, I think he should always have that Superman fly, it's just too iconic. However, to be fair, this move can be pretty good at zoning because that hitbox is pretty darn thick. Let's go ahead and have Shao Kahn jump just for fun and see how hard it is to actually jump over this thing, because I imagine it's quite difficult. So at around this distance, oh yeah, you're not jumping over this thing, no way. It's just not gonna happen. Whether I do it early or I do it late, you're not jumping over this thing. So at around jumping distance, this thing is just king. Now to be fair, you're not gonna jump on Raiden anyway because he has this, and this move can catch you out of the sky from full screen. Like, it's just darn crazy. Now you don't get the grab from full screen, it just pulls him in. But even so, it's a really good move. You just don't jump on Raiden in this variation at all. Look at that. You just can't go in the sky at all in this variation. Now, of course, he does have this in variation 2 as well, and that definitely is superior to this variation, so it's not unique to this build. He does have this move in other variations, but the point is, we don't really need a tool to stop the opponent from jumping. Raiden already has that. However, thankfully, this move is also good for extending combos if you amplify it. Now, it's not the best way to do that because honestly, he has much better means in variation 1, and sometimes you do switch sides depending on your distance. Now, thankfully, I do believe if you hold forward, then he'll just stay in front anyway. No, he can just switch sides based on distance. I'm wrong about that, but I think if you hold back, does he always switch sides? No, it's entirely based on distance. I thought it had to do with what direction you held, because I watched a video and the guy said that, but once again, just one more lesson, don't watch other tutorials, they don't know what they're talking about, underdog. So that's problem number 2 about this move. Sometimes you just switch sides, and as a player, that's gonna be annoying to react to, like, oh, I switched sides, gotta run in. It's really frustrating, not to mention, his further reaching moves are a back direction, so you gotta dash and then do back, and look at that, it still missed. Even when I dashed. It's just not very easy to follow up with. Now, it can be done, to be fair, but depending on what move you do, he'll switch sides. And if they're in the air, it's even harder to convert. They're knocked so far away, and you don't get your jump combos. I really wish you did, that'd be really sick. Now in the corner it might be possible, but outside of that, it's just not a very good way to extend combos. So basically, in a nutshell, if you want a combo variation, then variation 1 is what you actually want to use because it's far more consistent. This one is just plain risky. Not to mention, this move on block is just a death sentence. Alright, Shao Kahn, block this for me. Look at that, minus 22. Now from further away, it can be a bit better. Now it's minus 19, and the opponent can't punish from this far away. Though I'm curious if some teleports could actually still trip me up. But Shao Kahn's shoulder smash can't reach me from this far away. But let's go ahead and tell Big Daddy Shao Kahn to do that just for fun, and see if I can even block in time. Alright, let's see. Nope, couldn't block in time. How about here? Barely. Can barely block in time from there. So if I do it, oh, I couldn't even do it there. Wow, I gotta be really far away or he's gonna punish me. Oh my goodness, Shao Kahn, punish me, big boy. So that's pretty bad, right? Characters like Sub-Zero and Shao Kahn just eat this variation's lunch, because this move, despite having really good range, and the best thing about it being its potential to zone, even if blocked from really far away, it's still fully punishable by certain characters. So it's very dangerous on block. You pretty much only want to hit confirm into this thing, which is a shame because it has the potential to be a really good zoning tool, but it's just too unsafe on block at the moment. I really do hope in a future patch they update it and make it much safer on block, because this move isn't that great for combos anyway, so it should be safe on block from that distance. Nothing crazy, and don't make it a positive or anything, but making it like minus 7 seems completely fine to me, because that is just ridiculous. Even from here, he can still catch me. That's just crazy talk. That should not be possible. It really should be better on block, and I also wish we could choose to switch sides by holding a direction instead of it happening based on distance. That's just too inconsistent and very frustrating. It's already hard enough to hit the opponent with Raiden. The guy doesn't really have any 50-50s, and then on top of that, once you get the hit, you have to worry if you switch sides because you have to dash, so you have to react right away, did I switch sides or not, and then dash in that direction just to extend your combo. It's super duper inconvenient and also very unsafe on block. And next up we have Lightning Rod. This move is very interesting, to put it nicely. It's a very unorthodox move. So the idea is you place this thing down, and it has several distances. You can hold back, comes a bit closer, you can hold forward, and it goes further. And basically what this move does is redirect your lightning strike, so by default, it's not a very big deal. It does 40, which is less than what it does by default, but if it's right on top of the opponent and they get struck first, it hits them a second time. It's pretty tough to make happen. But look at that, we got 90 that time instead, which is kind of cool, and in theory, you could like do it twice and get even more damage. I didn't hold the button down, my bad. So right there, pretty big burst of damage, like 17%. Pretty good on hit also. I can throw them because I'm at frame advantage. I can go for my setups, do pressure, all that good stuff. So that's kind of nice. It does have some bizarre potential, and it also works on your regular projectile as well in a similar fashion, so it can hit them twice, which is kind of cool. This move actually does fascinate me quite a lot. It seems like it might have some potential, but the damage isn't that great. But what I find really fascinating is the amplified version. It's really cool because if you're fast, you get the combo going still, and that's sick. It looks really slick. Now once again, the damage isn't very good, and that's the issue. And Joe Push is kind of slow on startup, so it wouldn't even connect in that situation. Unlike Superfly, which would have worked just fine. I love Electric Fly, it would have worked there. Joe Push though, a bit slow. It's all about Lightning Rod in this variation. That's the one cool thing about this build. I think if you experiment with it, it's going to be really good for catching opponents off guard. And I do like how if you amplify it, you have the potential to extend combos where it normally wouldn't be possible. That's pretty darn cool. The issue is it goes away pretty quick. That's the issue. So I think the idea is you get a hit, go into it, and then go for a string and hope it catches them. And then you keep the combo going after that. I think that's the main idea in this build. Oh, and now I'm wondering, does it work after like a move like this? Will it work there? Let's see, that's really cool. Will that work? No, unfortunately not. That would have been so sick if that actually worked, because then Raiden would actually have 50-50s. Oh, it did work. Okay, so maybe I'm misunderstanding how this move works. Does it hurt them when it goes away? Or is it when I let go of the button? Is that what's causing it to happen? That's so weird. I'm not sure what makes it happen. Please tell me in the comments what decides when this thing goes off. I can't dash is the problem. Now in the corner it might actually work, but otherwise I'm stuck in so much recovery after that move, I can't do nothing. No strike at all in the corner. Does it gotta be in front maybe? Will that work? No? Oh, that's rough. So you're telling me that if I had Shao Kahn like right here, maybe it would work? Because then he'd fall into it? Is that what you're telling me? Like I could do this? Okay, so it could happen in theory. If the opponent's near the corner but not quite, and the staff is right in front of them but not quite in the corner itself, then you could combo after that overhead and have a true 50-50 situation with Raiden. It seems like they have to be past it, and that's the way that it works. That's just ridiculous. I mean, maybe you could like plant it like this and hop over them. Would that work? I don't know what's causing this thing to go off. Like, I really don't get what's causing it. That's tough, man. It's a mystery unto itself, but this move does have potential. And there's one more thing about this move that I really want to talk about. So you can actually do an input and call it back, and you recover pretty quickly when you call it back. So I'm wondering, could you do a string, then call it back, and then go for a throw or something? You don't recover that quickly, but if the opponent's scared of something like your Joe Push or any number of things, different attacks, you may be able to scare them into thinking that you're going to cancel into that, and instead of doing that, you just call this bad boy back, then go for a low or more pressure or an overhead or a throw, any number of things. It's not that good, unfortunately. I wish it was. It doesn't happen right away. I wish you recovered a lot quicker, because then you could call it back just right away, and that would be really, really cool. What's that like on block? Minus 21? Oh my god, that's so punishable. Gotta be really careful when going for this move, but the idea of summoning this and then calling it back seems really cool to me. I like the idea of that, because instead of doing this, right? Instead of doing that, which is very safe, instead, you just call it back. That sounds really cool to me. Now, I do wish it recovered a bit faster. Maybe in a future patch when Sindel gets here, they can make it recover a lot quicker, because that would really be cool for block pressure, and I would love that. Raiden's not a mix-up character, but perhaps he has the potential to be a pressure character, who can put you in situations like that where you're not sure when to stop blocking or when to attack. He can throw you, go for his overhead, go for his low. That seems really, really cool. Not to mention, once again, this guy does have some 50-50 opportunities with Raiden in the corner, so the idea that you can either go for that 50-50 or just call it back and go for a different mix-up is really cool. On paper it sounds very fascinating, but right now, it doesn't recover quite fast enough and I wish it did. So in conclusion, is this the worst third variation in the game so far? Honestly, it might be, but at the same time with some minor tweaks, it could be a very viable variation. Joe Push just has to be better on block and also allow us to choose when we switch sides, because when it happens based on distance, it's just too unreliable and I don't trust it. I really don't. If I want combos, I'll stick in variation 1. And then Lightning Rod. Make it a lot easier to extend combos with the amplified version especially, and in the corner that would be great for 50-50s, and also let us recover faster when we call it back, because that would offer some really awesome block pressure, and since Raiden doesn't have 50-50s, not really, I think he deserves that because that would just be sick. But please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you feel about this variation? And then while you're down there, go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.